Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs today. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so you guys ought to see the list of pitiful topics I got to talk about today. The only thing about doing top of the blogs twice a week is sometimes it don't be nothing to talk about. Today would be one of those days, you guys, so I have had to pull on my creative influences to curate a show for you guys today that most of you guys probably don't care about, but baby, we're going to talk about it because what? It is the end of the month. You know what that means? The last little push. And it's been pitiful, child. So we ain't skipping no videos if we don't have to. All right, so let me just figure out what the first story gonna be. Let's talk about, I guess we can start with this honorary degree that they've given to Sheree Whitfield. I didn't even put down the school down, y'all. I didn't even put down what the school was. But you guys did see that Sheree from Real Housewives of Atlanta, she had posted this post of her in her illustrious cap and gown, her blonde cascading kinky curly wig and 32 inches, and her saying she is Dr. Whitfield, okay? And you would do well to address her as such. And a lot of people have been up in an uproar about this whole honorary degree thing. I will say that I feel like the honorary degree thing has taken a life of its own lately, and it isn't what it used to be, even though honorary degrees, when you really just sat down and thought about it, were really nothing more than, well, I looked it up. That's how bored I was at work today. I wasn't really bored, you guys, but I did look it up because I wanted to know where the origins of the honorary degree came from. What was it that they had in mind when they came up with the honorary degree? And so this is what I was able to find. So they say that the first honorary degree on record happened back in 1400s. Okay, I think they said 1470. Basically, the honorary degree was to honor a person that contributed to a specific field that were related a lot to what that school in particular was known for, either that or just their achievements and their contribution to society as a whole, okay? So, but these were always people that were deemed esteemed, usually educators, usually people that was within that certain community were the people that they honored, okay? Like I said, it started back in the 1400s, and these were schools like your Yales, your Cambridges, your Oxfords, your schools that have been around for hundreds of years and carry that prestige with it. At one time, when you received an honorary degree, it was a prestigious award of a school giving to somebody that they felt was important to that school or to society at that time. Okay. Now, fast forward to today, and we are starting to see more and more people getting honorary degrees. Sometimes it makes sense. Like recently we saw that Missy Elliott did get an honorary degree from Berkeley, the music school, not Berkeley in California, but there's a school called Berkeley in New York, or up in that way, Boston, I believe it is. I believe it's in Massachusetts. And so she was awarded an honorary degree because obviously Missy Elliott has contributed quite a bit to the music industry, and is, you know, so they felt that she was the appropriate person to give this award to. In Sheree's case, okay, it's interesting that she would receive this award from if I'm not mistaken, this school was a Christian school. Okay, it was a Christian school that she got a honorary degree from, and not to say that Sheree is not a Christian, but she is not an out loud what we know her for as Christian. You know, some people are saying that the school that she was awarded, there was somebody else that was just got one too. I want to say Pretty V. Pretty V also is another one who just recently got an honorary degree from an award, from a school somewhere. And they're saying that these schools are some created schools that don't even have accreditation, and that they just basically picked the fucking name out of the air, that they brought them onto the school to honor them, just to really get publicity for said school. Back in the day, they say that it was an honorary process that had to go through various stages. Many boards had to sit and discuss what this person achieved. They would vote on it, and it would progress through the different boards until it made it to the decision of the person that was going to get the title. Today, it seems like it might be one of your homegirls that work in the office at the school, who, you know, ain't got shit else to do. They've assigned her this thing. Find somebody that, you know, the people will know, that will come here and give a speech and bring some publicity. So she's, you know, watched a reality show, you know, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and came up with somebody that they felt, you know, would be appropriate, and ushered in this thought with a shot of Casamigos and a blunt. I'm not saying that that's how Sheree's name came across the table when they were trying to figure out who they were going to give this award to. But that's kind of how it feels, because why are we giving Sheree an honorary doctorate degree, which really has no weight? You know, they have always wanted people that have received honorary degrees to refrain from using the title doctor, because obviously nobody is going to make an appointment and come to you for a checkup. Okay, you are not a medical doctor or any other doctor, you know, not a PhD, where people have gone to school for many years and really had to study and be specific and intentional in their studies to get to the point where they have actually received a real PhD. Okay, so schools really give it to you, but it's just sort of like just one of those cute little ha moments where we're gonna give you, you know, we'll give you the robe. It probably ain't gonna be the same robes that the actual PhD people that are actually getting a PhD degree would wear. And yeah, it's not for you. So the fact that Sheree put she is Dr. Sheree Whitfield, okay, was pretty comical. Okay, although we ain't gonna rain on the girl's parade. You know, she wants to look at herself that way. I mean, you know, it's okay to look at yourself with esteem. However, I think that the honorary degrees have gotten away from the original intent. I mean, it seems like it would at least be related to what, you know, what that school, or what you, like I just gave you the example with Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott is not putting doctor in front of her name, and nobody else should as well. I'm hoping that Sheree Whitfield was just doing a cute little, clever little ha, okay? But yeah, it was interesting that a Christian college would reach out to Sheree. Okay, like I said, Sheree ain't the devil or nothing, but it seems like maybe they would have given it to a person that we know that actually has connection within society and the spiritual community, where people look to that person for that kind of thing. We ain't looking at Sheree to pray for us. Okay, that's just what it is. But yeah, you guys, so just gave you a little something on this whole doctor thing, this honorary degrees. Really, pretty much, you guys, bottom line is they're bullshit. Okay, and as time goes on, it seems like they're even more bullshit. I would really love to wonder how I would love to figure out how they came up with Pretty V. Not saying that Pretty V doesn't deserve a degree. I just want to know, what was the voting process there? What was the school that Pretty V was giving hers for? What was the one that Sheree was giving for? Y'all just leave it below, child. I thought that was a cute little thing to open with. Next story. I guess we can also talk about Angel Reese and Herbo, y'all. I'm just like, what is going on? Okay, I really hope y'all don't chew that girl up and spit her out. Okay, because this girl loves to be seen. Yes, she is a phenomenal basketball player. Nobody has taken that away from her. I think it's great that she's going on to be on the Olympic team and all of that. Okay, I am worried more about the social aspect of being Angel Reese and getting out there. And like I said, people they will consume that girl and take her in, and then they will spit her out, and I just don't want that to happen to her. She loves to be in the spotlight, you guys. So apparently after the game the other day, you guys know that she is on the Chicago Sky, and so she was in Chicago and she wanted to be they say that she wanted to be taken around, showing all of the in and out spots. And I'm assuming Herbo is from Chicago, even though I thought that he lived in New York. I might be so completely off with that, but I had assumed that since he was with Emily's daughter, and Emily is in New York, and I thought the daughter was in New York, not far from her mother and everything, so I just figured that maybe he lived in New York as well. There's so many questions behind this, like, is he even still with that girl Tatiana or whatever her name is? I know they have very small children together. He also has has a son with Ari. Okay. That, they co-parent well and everything. So, but I always thought that they were in New York. Okay. But I might be completely off with that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Other questions that I have is, how tall exactly is he? Okay. How tall is Angel Reese? I looked that up and I saw that she was 6'3". Okay. I know for a fact Herbo ain't no 6'3". You can look at all the pudge and stuff and tell that he ain't 6'3". I looked his up too as well, and they said around 6 feet, and that's when people trying to be generous. That means you about 5'10". Okay. So not saying that, but it was just sort of like, girl, this is what you... But apparently they say that he's not trying to be with her. Well, actually, they haven't said what it is. All they've said is that he supposedly is taking her around to see all the spots in Chicago so that she will know what's what. And I guess from him being from there, he would know that very well. Okay. So yes, they were spotted in the Tesla, the futuristic SUV, whatever they're calling that monstrosity. I was on the freeway the other day and actually happened to be on the side of one, and I just kept on looking at it. Everybody on the freeway was looking at it. So it was definitely one of those like eye-catching type of machines on the street. Reminds me so much of the DeLoreans back in the day, the car, for those, I'm telling my age because I know y'all young people like the what? But if you happen to watch the oldie but goodie Back to the Future, the car that was used in there was made out of this heavy ass metal. And that's the same way that the Tesla looks, although I'm sure they're not using no heavy ass metal. I'm sure it's some sort of really lightweight something. But it looks like the Luxor. It looks like the Luxor Hotel driving down the street on some wheels. It's this ugly. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. They're saying that Herbo and Angel Reese were spotted in this car, and they actually had been seen earlier in that week around Chicago, keeping each other's company. Okay. Now, like I said, he could just be showing her around. That could be his cousin, helping her take the groceries up. And, it could be any number of reasons why they're doing it. But yeah, I'm more concerned about Angel. And then isn't Herbo supposed to be in jail? Like, when is this motherfucker going to jail? Because I know, not that I want the boy to go to jail, but I know that I have talked about his jail sentence a couple of times on top of the blogs. I think the last time that we talked about it, didn't they say that he got 5 years or something like that? This man still ain't went to jail. I'm still seeing him all over the place. So what's up with that? Did they drop the sentence? Like, did he work it out? Did he pay him off like Krishan Rock wanted to? Like, what's happening there? Okay. But yeah, they say that these two have been seen around. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like, they just don't seem like I just don't see them two together. But child, who are I? Who are I? Okay. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Do you think that this is a new couple? And then do you understand what I'm saying when I say that they gonna chew that girl up and spit her out? Okay, I hope she got some really good people around her that's gonna keep her grounded, because you know, we've seen when athletes that have so much pressure, so much eyes on them. You know, Sha'Carri Richardson was a great example. I mean, she almost, I mean, you know, she had a really rough start, but that girl is back on track now. Okay, had a difficult time. Her mother passed. You know, it was a lot going on. Egos. It was a lot. All right, and it's hard for a young girl to navigate that when, you know, they've been on that. She's been on the track and field scene for many years. However, she was not on the global track and field scene where everybody saw and knew what was going on and all that. That's a lot for somebody. So she kind of almost had to crash and burn a little bit, had to learn a lesson, and had to get her focus back. And now that girl, you guys been watching them track and field, you guys been watching the track and field qualifications all this week. Has been phenomenal, and that girl is on it. She is going to take the gold for sure in whatever she's running. I'm sure they're going to have her on the relay. I'm sure she's going to be on the 100-yard dash and all that, or 100 meters, whatever it is. And I'm proud of her, because she, you know, she didn't let it get her so far off course that she wasn't able to get it back together. And so I'm hoping that Angel maybe could learn from Sha'Carri and not even have to go through those growing pains. Okay, she is a little bit older. I mean, she is older now than Sha'Carri was when Sha'Carri was at the hype, you know, when all that hype was going on. I think Sha'Carri was younger than Angel Reese is now, so I'm hoping that might figure in and factor in. But yeah, you guys, y'all let me know what you think. Do you think that her and Gherbo together? Is him and the girl still together? Not that it matters these days, obviously, but y'all let me know what you think. Next story. Oh, I guess we can talk about celebrities hitting up this OnlyFans thing nowadays, because, you know, we saw that, what's her name? Camille Winbush or something like that. The girl who played the oldest daughter on the Bernie Mac show. We saw that she has a pretty popular OnlyFans account that she makes good money from. And people were having an issue with her, you know, like, damn, you had to go to soft porn to, you know, make a living for yourself. I mean, what about being an actress? And she was saying how, yeah, it's not as easy as people think, you know, still trying to be in that entertainment industry. Maybe there has been some disillusionment, you know, as well, you know, from her being a child star. We see so many child stars go through so many changes, and a lot of them don't land on their feet. Could she be one of those ones when it comes to acting? And now we're seeing that Brashear Gray from Empire. Okay, Hakeem from Empire, we now see that he has started an OnlyFans. And I guess you can kind of consider him a child star as well. Not as young as the girl from Bernie Mac show is, but, you know, people are just like, it's interesting that they would go to OnlyFans. Now, I do know that OnlyFans is a subscription site where you get exclusive content to whatever they're creating and putting out there. And there's a lot of soft porn on there that people pay for. And so, you know, what do you guys think about that? Folks are just like, what about the residuals that they get from the shows that they were on? I don't know how Empire works because he hasn't spoken out about it, but the Camilla girl did speak out about it. If I'm saying her name wrong, you guys, I'm sorry. But she did speak out about it and said that, you know, she doesn't make much from the residuals from that show. And I think that that's because people didn't realize that you have to negotiate. When you're negotiating your contract, you have to negotiate, you have to think about these things in the long term of how successful a show might be, how long the show might go on to live on in reruns and the such. And a lot of people just do not factor into their contracts the amount of money that they will get from residuals. I know it's always discussion. People always bring up Friends and they're like, oh, the white people. That it's not even necessarily the white people. It's more so that the cast of Friends did things a little bit differently. They banded together and they made sure when they were doing their contracts that everybody got the exact same contract. Okay, so there was no competition on this person making more money than that person and this and that and the other. It's easier for them, of course, because it's an ensemble cast. So everybody is on the equal playing level field when you're talking about an ensemble cast, as opposed to it being Bernie Mac's show. Okay, so if Bernie Mac was still alive, I'm sure he would make the most in residuals from the show, it being his show, and then everybody else, depending on how they were seen as a cast member, you know, they would make a certain amount too. So it is different for Friends, but we gonna just talk about Friends because that's always the example that people bring up. But yeah, they did band together and they made sure that everybody made the exact same amount. And that also meant that when they went into the negotiations for the residuals of their contract, the residuals that resulted from their contract, they also put in there that they would make $1 million or whatever the money was, you know, in residuals, because they were aware that the networks, whoever is running these shows, is making a whole bunch of fucking money, millions and millions and millions of dollars. Okay, so they were all very smart. They made sure that they had the lawyers and things, and they all did everything together. So that is why Friends was able to do what many other people did not do. And of course, you know, you can always say, well, of course they have the privilege of doing the white cast and all that, and that also factors in. So I'm, you know, not saying that, but that is what happens a lot of times on other shows when you start to see people, having these contract negotiations, and the contract negotiations are private unless you choose to do it all as a group. Now that shit can backfire. Okay, it don't always work out the way that it worked out for the Friends cast. If that show hadn't have been as mega successful as it had been, they wouldn't have been able to do that. Okay, but that is something to keep in mind. You know, when people are talking about contract negotiations and, you know, why this person make more than that person and this and that and the other, you just always have to remember that, you know, when you go for a job interview, or if you going to get promoted in your job, you know, you're not sitting around and talking to your coworkers and telling them how much you make now and what you planning on making. No, that's not a discussion that's made amongst the mass. Okay, that is something private between you and your employer, and you guys work it out. So that is why there's all these different amounts that people make. Some people make way more. It's just what you negotiate. Some people are stronger in negotiations than others. Okay. And if you are going for a promotion, then you would do yourself a service by knowing how to negotiate or talking to somebody that can help you get it so that you can get the right amount of money. And a lot of people just don't know that, or, you know, just didn't know that at the time when they were young and they were just happy to be on the show and the show turned out to be successful and all of that. So that may be the reason why you now have your Camillas and your Bright Shears who have decided to go on OnlyFans. I have a friend that has a foot OnlyFans account, and he does very well on there. And it's always so surprising to me. He actually used to post his feet on Instagram, and he was doing it for free. And then I remember when OnlyFans came up, he hurried up and got him an account over there, and he does very well over there. So, I mean, it's a market for the people, and people is making money for it. I mean, I guess I can't be mad. I cannot be mad if this is what a person has chosen to do. It just kind of makes you just feel like, damn, you know, is it really that hard to continue on with acting? But, you know, we done seen so many devils and so much shit going on in Hollywood. I mean, it is not for the weary. It's not for the weak. You have to have a certain kind of stick-to-itness in you to keep on in Hollywood and all that. So, I mean, I get it. But the Camilla girl, I was watching the interview and she was talking about, you know, just how hard it's been and how people just don't understand, and the fact that she can do this from the comfort of her own home and the safety of her own home, which sounds like what a lot of porn stars was saying when a lot of them was switching over to OnlyFans during the pandemic and everything. But, you know, I can't be mad at that, girl. You're not hurting nobody. You know, and if you okay with, you know, busting it wide open for everybody to see, honey, then who am I? I can't, you know, do what you do. But I know some people don't feel that way about it. So you guys let me know what you think about OnlyFans. Do you think that it is exploiting? Is it an easy way out for people who not want to try to go after it? Or do you understand why people got to do what they got to do? And if they're trying to get to this money the best way that they can, I mean, and if it's a market for people out there want to pay their money to see what you're doing, you know, fooling around with yourself or whatever, then what? Y'all let me know what you think about it. Next topic. Oh, let's talk about the XXL Freshman Class of 2024. You guys know how on the XXL covers every year they have a freshman class, and it's supposed to be like the who's who rappers of that year who's going to be like making a splash and a big name for themselves. There are a few people on there that I was familiar with, okay? And I didn't get everybody's name that's on there, and now I feel bad about it because I probably should have. I only pulled out the names that the people that I knew of. One being Scarlett, okay? She is a very well-known, well, she's a growing rapper, and but if you know her, you know who she is. Cute girl, you know, thick chocolate, has a scar on her lip, hence the name. And she recently has been known, well, not known, but she's just been one of those rappers that's not kind of in this whole sexy, like hyper sexualized rap lane that many of our female, I know you guys don't like female, that many of our women, our girl rappers are in right now. She wasn't ever in that lane, but recently she put out a song and she's got on her little short shorts and her booty is hanging out and she's twerking with her friends and all that, and people had a problem with it and was just like, what is this? I mean, please don't tell me you about to, you know, switch over to the sexy reds and the, you know, that whole genre. Like, can you stick to what you was doing? And it was cute to me that she made a video just saying, like, I'm still who I am, you know, it's just that I have so many ideas, there's so many things that I want to do. She basically doesn't want to be pigeonholed. She doesn't want to be put in a box to be a certain way. And I can understand that. I just hope that, you know, because that's what everybody seems to be gravitating to, that if it's not something that's true to her, that she doesn't, you know, stay trying to be like that, because we have enough sexy reds, honey. We got more than, honey, just one sexy red is too fucking much. I also saw they had Boss Man D-Lo. Y'all know that is my boy. I just, he cracks me up. It's the proper amount of hood fool of fucking niggatry. It's just, I love him, his voice and everything. You know, Joe let me listen to his album one time when we were out, and every single song is just mwah. And then Huncho, you know, Huncho is the one that has the song, child, I still got Boss Man D-Lo's song stuck in my head. What's the song that Huncho has? It's real popular. Something about him, you know, him trying to talk to the girl and telling the girl how she better than her friends. He don't like her friends, that she shouldn't be with them. None of them drive a Benz. None of them have a purpose. All of them tried to sleep with him, but he couldn't embarrass her, you know. So he just tried to make sure, like, why you over there fucking with them when we could be in Paris and everything? I was just like, well, niggas will sell you a story every time, child. And you guys know he was the one that was, oh, he's the one that's dating Keisha Cole. I said, Keisha, girls, that. And when you look at the boy look young. I mean, he looked like he all of the same age as Joe. Okay, and Keisha not as old as me, but she definitely old enough to be that boy's way older, bigger sister, or maybe even auntie. Okay, but honey, Keisha love her some Honcho. He is a good looking kid. He's a good looking kid, tall and all that. But I was just like, girl, he must be dropping off a special, peculiar, extravagant amount of rapper dick over there that's got you so you can't even think straight. Cause honey, I saw a picture of her. It was his birthday or her birthday or something. She was just smiling and laughing, and she was just looking at him like, that's my baby. I said, girl, that boy gonna be stressing your ass out. But you know, Keisha do like the young men. This her third young guy that she's been with that we know of. So, you know, she partial to the young boys. I mean, he grows, y'all. I keep on telling y'all be with these young guys, be the ran your fucking life ragged. Okay. But yeah, so anyway, they're part of the freshman class. There are other people on there. I didn't even put their names down, you guys, because I'm telling you, do y'all care about any of this stuff? What you think about that? Tell me about the other people on there if there's other people that you want to talk about, and I'm going to move on to the next story. Lastly, you guys, Bad Boy 4, whatever the name is it Bad Boy 4? Is it Bad Boy Forever? Or was that number 3, child? I don't know. But anyway, this last installment of Bad Boy 4, Bad Boy, they say that it has done astronomical numbers in the box office. They said that it hit the theaters on June 7th, and it grossed $106 million at the box office globally that weekend. Okay. I was surprised that they didn't even put them out. They didn't put Bad Boy out on the 4th of July weekend, because we know that Will Smith used to be Mr. 4th of July, and they would always put his movies out during like the Independence Day weekend or whatever. But that slap that was heard all across the world, you know, there's still a lot of people that have not forgiven Will Smith, okay, and people that still have a problem with him. The rest of us have moved on, but other people are still kind of stuck back there, Stephen Smith. Anyway, if we were looking at these numbers, we would know that at least when it comes to the box office, people are feeling Will Smith again. Like I said, they made $106 million that first weekend. It did take $100 million to make the movie, okay? And we ain't even figured into them numbers this big old push for publicity, you know, going out on the tour and the press and making sure that everybody knew about the movie. I mean, if you looked up when that movie came out, him and Martin Lawrence was every fucking where, to the point where Martin looked exhausted. Okay, he keep on saying he don't have any health issues. He's saying he's just living his life. So maybe it was just the grueling schedule of being out there and going from country to country and all over the place. But they did say that so far the movie has made $227 million globally, which also pushes the franchise as a whole over the $1 billion mark. So let it be known and said that Will Smith is definitely still that person that will bring the people to the box office. We went to go see Bad Boy, the last one, for Father's Day, and I actually liked this one better than I liked the third one. When we were putting them in order, because Mr. felt like this was the fourth one was the best one, I was like, no. It's still the first one is the best one, okay? And then the second one, and then the fourth one, and then the third one. That is how I put them in order. Yeah, you guys, very good for Will Smith, very good for Martin Lawrence. They say they haven't greenlit a 5th installment. However, I mean, Will Smith loves this franchise. It is so very near and dear to his heart. He just looks like he loves Martin Lawrence. He loves all of this. And I don't see that man letting it go. I feel like he gonna ride that shit till the wheels fall off. As long as they can make the money on it and that people still want, you know, have the interest in doing it. I think the producers and the directors, everybody is on board and they want to continue on the franchise. Did you guys see the movie? What did you guys think about the movie? Did you think, you know, in the list, in the order of the 4 movies that have been put out, which one is your best on down to your least favorite? Y'all put all that down there in the comments below. And yeah, I guess I was able to make a top of the blog extra out of, a top of the blog today out of just really nothing, child. Hopefully we'll have more to talk about on Friday. All right, you guys, that is it. Let me get on off of here, run in here, get me something to eat, get on back to the office, and get some work did. Okay, we do this every single week. I think it's going to be Wednesday and Friday now. Okay, so make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Till next time, Roxstars.